Well, folks, it is chilly out there, but it's never too early to start getting things warmed up for a little soccer in the South Sound. General Manager of FC Oly on the line, Ryan Perkins. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, excited about Artesian soccer coming back this year. Thanks for having us on, Jeff.
So it's always good to talk with you and the Artesians FC Oly now online at fcoly.com. We've been associated with them for a long time. I've been kind of with the club for many years, actually, if you think about it, way back in many different iterations and locations. So I've seen some major team players come through the ranks at FC Oly, and we're gearing up for another big year. You've got a kind of a sit down workshop Q&A session coming up in Lacey on Sunday. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, we have pro soccer teams flying in to Washington and coming down to Lacey to meet with coaches and parents and players to do Q&A to learn how to, get to the next level. There's D1 coaches, pro coaches, and homegrown pro players that have gone to the next level. So you can ask questions like workouts, nutrition, and exercising. What kind of teams should I play for when I'm a kid, and what should I do with recruiting? So it's a definitely a unique opportunity for the soccer community.
Tell me again now who all's going to be there.
So we have Ben Willis from Lexington SC. That's a men's and women's pro soccer club in Kentucky. We have Seattle University as a Division One NCAA college program, and Chris Wells is going to be representing them at the panel. We also have Miguel Gonzalez, who played for Miami and Oklahoma in USL Pro ranks. And then we also have Kellen Green, who is our current USLW head coach, and she played for the Sounders women with the likes of Megan Rapinoe and Hope Solo. And so they'll be there, and they're ready to field all the questions from kids, parents, coaches, everyone.
So it's at the Lacey Community Center on Pacific Avenue in Lacey. If you're going to take the freeway, you get off there at the Martin Way exit and you head down past, you turn on Carpenter, and then you'll take a left when you get to Carpenter and Pacific, if I'm not mistaken there, and you'll see the community center on the right. I only know that because I used to work there before I started at KMAS, and it's a great facility, lots of space available for that one. So that makes a good question, because if my kid was in high school or in middle school going to high school thinking about college, I guess it would make sense to kind of understand some of the best practices on nutrition makes sense, but also like how you position your player to either get in front of the most eyes or the most recruits or things. And I know it's all changed now with social media and video everywhere, but there's some certain things that you need to think about, right?
Absolutely. The landscape has changed from going to showcases, camps, clinics, what teams to play for, club teams year round. These are all types of questions that should be asked of these people that are making these, high level decisions at D1 all the way to pro.
So, what are some of the differences between what a D1 coach like Chris does here at Seattle U versus what Ben does with Lexington? Because aren't the age ranges about the same?
Yeah, so what you'll find is in American soccer is a lot of players that are get picked up for Seattle U are coming right out of high school. So you're looking 18 to 21 years old, looking at an education first and foremost. Where's the college? What are they going to study? Those are the things that Chris Wells focuses on. And then you have Ben on the other side, who's looking for the next level talent. That's also an elite level youth players that could be 16 to 18, but a lot of the bulk of what he recruits is the college athletes. So he's looking for the standout college players, that 1% that's going to be then paid to play, for Lexington, 5 months out of the year and making a living out of being a soccer player, which is, that'd be a really cool deal, wouldn't it?
That would be pretty nice. Again, it's in Lacey at the Lacey Community Center on Sunday. Starts at 9, goes until 10. Some great opportunities to ask those kind of questions, especially if you're a parent and you're not quite sure. Sometimes if you do pull a kid out or you got a kid for 5 months, you're kind of handing over the keys, and you kind of want to know where they're going and who the culture is and what the culture is when it comes to how they basically take over helping that kid become a better soccer player and a better person.
Yes, indeed. It's a great opportunity. It's really good for parents too. Trying to, figure out what they should be imparting to their child as they grow and become, the late teen or young adult. So it's all practice for getting to the next stages of life.
Well, one of the things too that you do with FC Oly is you put on a great soccer show and a great soccer atmosphere for folks between May and July, and it runs through the summer, men and women. You've had men and women both on your clubs that have played in the World Cup. They've played in different countries on the World Cup stage, and it even trickles down all the way to homegrown talent. I saw the press release that came out just the other day here that Manny Nicasio, former Shelton High climber, Evergreen Gooey Duck, is back with FC Oly. That's got to be awesome.
Yeah, Manny's been a long time artesian for us at FC Olympia in the arena days. He has the record 34 career goals. He's also had the most minutes in games played in USL franchise soccer for us. He's got like 26 games, and Manny is a great player now. Can't say kid anymore. He's a
Right.
grown man, but yeah, he was a star at Shelton High School. He was coached by Jason Smith, and he went on to have a lot of successful years in college. And we're excited to have him back on our USL men's team.
That's really exciting. And I know as we get closer and closer to the start of both the USLW and USL2 seasons, we're going to check back in, of course, throughout the next couple of weeks and months to kind of talk about the schedule, as there's some pretty big teams in your division in the USL, all the way from Ballard down south into Oregon and all points in between. But who are some of these other teams that people may know of or know players of that FC Oly will go to battle on the pitch against?
Yeah, there's actually some former Sounders like Lamar Nagel who own Ballard FC, and they play in downtown Seattle, big crowds. Also, we go all the way down to Eugene, Oregon, and play against Lane United, which
Mm-hmm.
is going pro next year. So they just built a brand new soccer stadium in Eugene. We also play against the likes of Tacoma Stars. We play them over in downtown Tacoma. There's a lot of teams, 7 in Washington, 2 in Oregon, and yeah, it should be a really competitive fixture this year.
Tell me a little bit more about some of those main players who we might have seen on the TV representing their countries this past year. Was it the World Cup or the
Yeah.
Olympics, or when was that?
Yeah, that was the Paris Olympics. We actually had two goalkeepers on our team, on our women USL women's team. Shu Oba was the Team Japan goalkeeper who actually played right down the road here at Southtown Stadium this last year, and she ended up flying out, missing a couple of the final games for us because she was playing in the Olympics.
Well, geez, come on.
Well, and then yeah, Murphy Shea from New Zealand also got into the World Cup as well, and she had the most minutes for FC Olympia and USLW last year, and then she flew to Paris and played in the Olympics.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, that right there speaks to the level of talent that not only play in the USL, but also kind of that you and the club are able to bring in and have. right down the road from us, a stone's throw away to see some of this top-notch talent. It's pretty impressive. Season tickets are available now. We'll talk more as the schedule comes out, but you can at least secure your spot cheering on FC Oly. And the range of area that you're pulling from is massive here in the South Sound, from the coast to the base, right? Something like that.
Yeah, we are the kind of the south end of the Puget Sound, representing Lewis County, Mason County, Grays Harbor County, and obviously Thurston County, with us being based out of Olympia. But there's a ton of players that come from these, smaller kind of soccer communities like in Aberdeen, or even just, Shelton, Chehalis. And it's a conglomerate of players that come together, and we compete, and it's fun to represent the south end kind of the state, and ocean beaches, and compete against the big city, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. FCOly.com is the website again. Ryan and I will pop back in here over the next couple of weeks to talk more about the schedule and some other big announcements when it comes to locations and sponsorships and availabilities for you to come and watch these games. They are fun, they are fast paced, and they are exciting. The women's team has done quite well for themselves over their short time in the USLW. They've been in the finals. They've been close to the whole thing, and it's been wonderful to watch them.
Yeah, it was a super exciting last year, beating pro-owned Oakland Soul in California. That's Marshawn Lynch, former Seahawks running back, owns that team, and we flew down there and took care of business, beat them 2-1 in front of a couple thousand people at Oakland Stadium. So it was really neat. The USL women's team.
So it's a great opportunity for you to get involved in soccer in the South Sound at a what is it? Semi-pro, pre-pro? What do you call it? Path to pro, I know, is part of it when it comes to the USL too.
Yeah, it's a mix of pro players, collegiate, All Americans, and then there's a smattering of high school elite youth soccer players. So we call it a pre-professional path to pro, just because it's a huge mixture of
Yeah.
players.
So the panel is coming up on the 9th. It's going to be Sunday from 9 to 10 at the Lacey Community Center on Pacific Avenue in Lacey. You get a good opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about how you can better position your youth, your kids in ways that they can rise up and rise to the top when it comes to some of these professional soccer clubs that are happening, exercise, recruiting, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, what you should look for. And so that'll be a really cool one there. It's free for all ages, and you can register for that on fcoly.com. Well, Ryan, as always, it's good to talk with you, and I'm excited to kind of keep up with what's happening as we get closer and closer to the summer season. And it's always a fun time watching FC Oly. So we'll be in touch here in, I think, just a few weeks.
Thanks, Jeff. Oli, Oli, Oli.
I love it. I love it.